Thanks for joining us. This is NTA International News, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Usman Aliu. Now, top in our news. President Buhari restates his resolve towards ensuring the best for Nigeria and her citizens. Suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, opens defense in alleged forced declaration of assets at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And JAM disaccredits 14 private computer-based test centers from conducting the UTME examinations. Now the details. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated his resolve to put in all his efforts towards ensuring the best for Nigeria and her citizens. This was while receiving on solidarity members of the Board of Trustees and Advisory Council of the Katsina Foundation, led by Justice Mamman Nasir. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the report.
President Muhammadu Buhari said a purposeful leadership and vigorous pursuit of public good is the only way to reciprocate the massive show of support to the governing APC by the nation's majority. The president described his vote-seeking enterprise in all the states of the federation as an eye-opener, saying the crowds that welcomed his campaign train were more than anyone can possibly induce. He said that clearly demonstrated people's appreciation of the efforts by his administration so far at national salvation, and this will not be taken for granted.
I assure you that I will do my best in the second term, and we will work for Nigeria and all our peoples. President
Buhari was before his election the chairman of the Katsina State Foundation for 17 years, during which a lot was done to support education, healthcare, and agriculture in the state, especially for the less privileged. The Galadima of Katsina, Justice Mamman Nasir, who spoke on behalf of the delegation, said the Katsina State Foundation is grateful to God and all Nigerians for giving President Buhari the opportunity to serve another term in office.
We thank Almighty God for what you have done to this nation by bringing you here to continue serving the people.
President Muhammadu Buhari also granted audience to the governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, who described his relationship with the president as very cordial despite the outcome of the last elections in the state. Governor Okorocha said he was in the State House to invite the Nigerian leader for the inauguration of the various people-centered projects executed in the state.
I've completed the construction of a new cargo airport, terminal, warehouses, and cargo sheds. That needs to be commissioned. I've also completed a new police headquarters and also a new prison headquarters in Imo State. These are federal government projects built by Imo State government. And with other landmark projects like the Josoputa Court, the new Imo State High Court complex, which we have built. So we have well over 1,000 projects verifiable to be commissioned. President Muhammadu Buhari is a great man. He's a man of wisdom, a visionary leader. And that's why you see some of us tagging along with him. He's a father to all. Be you a Muslim, be you a Christian, be you from the southeast or south or southwest or north, President Buhari is our father. And everybody who loves him should project him in that light.
Mr. Okorocha of the APC, whose senatorial ticket is still a subject of controversy and litigation, is serving his last term in office as Imo State Governor. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has left for Dakar, Senegal, to attend the inauguration of Senegalese President Macky Sall for a second term in office. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that President Buhari, who is the current chairman of ECOWAS, is expected to be special guest of honor at the ceremonies to be attended by other African leaders on Tuesday. The Nigerian leader being accompanied by Governors Mohammed Abubakar of Bauchi, Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna, and Umaru Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa States was seen off at the airport by FCT Minister Mohammed Bello, the Acting Inspector General of Police Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, and other senior government officials. Others on the presidential entourage include the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyama, National Security Advisor Major General Babagana Munguno, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai, and other top government officials. Nigeria is to further strengthen her ties with India in the area of science, technology, and innovation. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Obonnaya Onu, said this when he received in audience the new High Commissioner of India to Nigeria. Justin Bem-Onyi reports.
As Nigeria looks forward to work with India, the minister appreciated the capacity-building relationship Nigeria has been enjoying and hopes to further build up that in the area of biotechnology, agriculture, and space research development. Dr. Onu congratulated India for its recent anti-satellite missile test, which shows the nation's prowess in space science technology.
You mentioned biotechnology. You also mentioned the peaceful use of atomic energy and so on. We are very determined as a nation to be in a position to feed ourselves. That is a major priority for Nigeria, and then to be in a position to develop technologies within the country.
Digital currency or digital money.
The minister also received kids from the Excellent Neighborhood Children's Parliament, who were on a visit to encourage him on his efforts to ensure Nigeria uses science and technology to facilitate socio-economic development.
Today, almost all the things we need as a nation, we import from outside, and we're saying no to that, that we have very brilliant people like you who should be able to help us to convert the enormous natural resources available in the country into products and services. So that is the Nigeria we want you to inherit.
The Excellent Neighborhood Children's Parliament is a network of children from about 50 government and private schools in Abuja. In Abuja, Justin Bem-Onyi, NTA News.
And for news from other parts of the globe, here is Uche Ugochukwu.
You're welcome. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned the latest spate of xenophobic attacks in the country and called on security agencies to arrest perpetrators. He said the violence, which mostly targeted Malawian and other African nationals, forced dozens of people out of their homes last week. Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan's ruling party has lost control of the capital, Ankara, in local elections in a setback to his 16 years in power. The Election Commission says the opposition is also ahead in the context for mayor of the largest city, Istanbul. The vote, seen as the verdict on Erdogan's rule, is taking place during an economic downturn. And South Korean President Moon Jae-in said on Monday he hopes North Korea responds positively when he meets U.S. President Donald Trump this month as part of efforts to resume the nuclearization talks. Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un failed to make any agreement at their summit in Hanoi, Vietnam's capital, in February. Moon now wishes to use the April 11th summit in Washington to discuss restarting U.S.-North Korea talks, advancing a peace progress, and creating a vicious cycle of improving relations with Pyongyang. Thanks for staying tuned. I am Uche Ugochukwu.
Thanks, Uche. And here, President Buhari has directed that the State House Medical Center be reverted to a clinic to serve the original purpose of its establishment. Permanent Secretary State House Jalal Arabi announced this in Abuja when he appeared before the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs for the 2019 Budget Defense. The Permanent Secretary disclosed that without prejudice to what is currently obtainable at the center, the intention to revert to a clinic is a presidential directive. This is to make sure that the facility is functional and serves the purpose for which it was established. In his remarks, the chairman of the committee, Senator Danjuma La'a, welcomed the proposal to make the center fully functional and ensure that members of the first and second families use the facilities at the clinic. Senator La'a promised that the committee will support full funding for the clinic and commended the 2018 budget performance in State House compared to previous years, despite revenue challenges. The State House 2019 budget proposal of 14.3 billion naira is slightly lower than the 2018 appropriation of 15.47 billion naira. The suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, has opened his defense in the alleged forced declaration of assets at the Court of Conduct Tribunal. The defendant called its first witness at the day's sitting. Daily Atumbi reports.
The lead counsel to Justice Onogen, Adegboyega Omolo SAN, called the first defense witness, Olariwaju Busari, who told the tribunal about the collection and submission of the asset declaration forms of himself and that of the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria in 2010. Olariwaju Busari, who is a staff of the Supreme Court, is the driver attached to the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onogen, since 1999 as a justice on the bench of the Court of Appeal. The defense counsel tendered in evidence the receipts of the payment for the asset declaration form, which the prosecution counsel Ali Umar SAN objected to on the ground that the receipt lacked revenue number, which made it inadmissible as the authenticity of the receipt was in doubt. Rely on relevant case laws and the Evidence Act, defense counsel Awomolo SAN countered the argument of the prosecution counsel on admissibility of a document in evidence. Awomolo SAN pointed the attention of the tribunal to 3 grounds on the admissibility of a document. They are its relevance to the fact in issue, originality of the document, and no vitiation of same by any law. The tribunal subsequently admitted the receipt in evidence. The tribunal also subpoenaed Teresa Nwafo, a director in the Code of Conduct Bureau, to give evidence following the application of the defense counsel. The tribunal adjourned till Wednesday, 3rd April 2019 for further hearing. While the prosecution counsel spoke to newsmen, counsel to Justice Onogen declined comments, but gave out a prepared text indicating that the defense counsel may have closed its defense even when the second defense witness is yet to give its evidence.
I cross-examine the witness. Like I said, I will do so to the best of my ability. I'm happy that this case is now going on. He has opened his defense and we are going on.
Justice Walter Onogen standing trial on 6-count charge on forced declaration of assets. In Abuja, Daily Atumbi, NTA News.
And to education matters now, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has disaccredited 14 private computer-based test centers out of the 712 accredited from conducting the UTME examinations. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloide said this while monitoring the conduct of the mock examination at some centers in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
157,331 candidates registered nationwide for the mock examination aimed at preparing candidates for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. While monitoring the conduct of the mock examination at some centers in Abuja, Professor Ishaq Oloide said 14 private CBT centers were disaccredited due to infractions ranging from collection of more than the stipulated 700 naira for the mock examination by private CBT centers, link tests that showed that the centers do not have the capacity to conduct UTME, and the fact that some centers conducted mock examination without JAMB authorization.
This morning, for one infraction or the other, technical and some deceit, whereby some of them will go and borrow some computers and thinking that they will not know. So now we have about 698 centers left in the operation, but we have redistributed the students.
Impressed with the conduct of the UTME mock examination, Minister of Education Adamu Adamu says it will no longer be business as usual for centers that indulge in these illegalities.
Well, they should stop and they should adhere to whatever guidelines is given by the registrar. Otherwise, the same fate will befall them.
Some candidates who participated in the mock examination say the exercise has afforded them the opportunity to cover other areas of their chosen subjects.
That's for government and CRS. I really need to put more effort inside because I saw different questions. I've not even fixed my head on the topic at all.
Part of chemistry was simple. Then physics was hard. some actually it was because I was not able to cover enough spaces in physics. But one thing I realized about JAMB, if you have to pass JAMB, you have to read line by lines.
It will be recalled that during the JAMB stakeholders meeting last month, the board said candidates without biometric verifications will be delisted from sitting for the examination. And to ascertain the authenticity of each candidate, they were made to thumbprint before and after taking their examination. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. Stay tuned for more news after this break.
Hear the call of change, stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, oh get roller. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thanks for being with us. Time for business news now, and Musa Baba Aliu will tell us news from the financial sector.
Federal government to construct inland dry port at the terminal end of the ongoing Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge railway line in Ibadan, Oyo State. The federal government, Oyo State government, and the Chinese construction company have agreed to construct the port at the cost of $134 million. The Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission has reviewed the project outline business case, which is expected to create 3,000 direct and over 2 million indirect jobs. In the meantime, 20 privately owned planes have been registered as a movable collateral to be seized from their owners in the event they default in meeting their loan obligations to their creditor institutions. Registrar of the National Collateral Registry, Mohammed Mainesara, disclosed that these 20 planes form part of the 65,000 registered movable assets in the country, with a financing value of 1.26 trillion naira. And the Nigeria Stock Exchange closed on a negative note at minus 1.64 points this Monday. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And to security matters now, a strategic partnership between the Nigerian Air Force and the government of Nasarawa State, which will bring security closer to the people, is in the pipeline. Correspondent Naja Atutijani has details.
Adding value to the various communities in which the Nigerian Air Force response units are situated in is part of the bigger picture here, as these two heads meet to form a strategic partnership which will yield epic results. They are charting a new course in peacekeeping operations in Nasarawa State.
Meanwhile, we have already allocated a piece of land beside the airport of a total of about 100 hectares. And should you require more land, Nasarawa State is ready to give you up to 100 or 200 hectares more without paying any dime, as the state has already paid the compensation for the land we are allocating to the Air Force.
With up to 300 hectares of land being made available by the Nasarawa State government for Nigerian Air Force missions, it promises to be a game changer in the protection and deployment of critical air assets.
And I also want to thank you for the initiative of establishing a cargo airport which is at 80% completion. This is very exciting to us. With that runway of about 2.5 kilometers or thereabouts, it can serve as a good alternative for our aircraft.
It will not only bring security closer to the people in line with global standards, but will ensure greater effectiveness in combating insecurity. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
And still talking security, more than 1,000 personnel of the Nigerian Army are learning new strategies on regimentation and combating security challenges associated with forestry and protected areas in Nigeria. This is because global focus on preservation of heritage sites and forests, even during conflict, is serving as a catalyst for the Nigerian Army to take action regarding security challenges associated with such areas. The Department of Army Standards and Evaluation, organizers of the 5-day seminar, said the effects of armed conflict on these areas have far-reaching climatic effects which must be addressed not only for conservation but for a stable and thriving ecosystem. And talking sports now, Nigeria Basketball Federation plans towards a successful outing at the FIBA World Cup as David Dawirie emerged champion of the 18th edition of the Junior Tennis Masters in Lagos. Olumide Gontola